Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Alliance Tournament. I'm here with my colourful co-commentator, Elise Randolph, and today we're going to be having another look at an exciting, explosive armor brawl here in PE1 with Quebec United Legion facing off against the Bastion. Quebec have whooped themselves in at 0 in what I can only describe as another all-in comp. This is another Octodad-style comp with 5 battle cruisers and 3 heavy assault cruisers going up against what the Bastion brought. Elise, run us through this Bastion composition.
All right, the Bastion, as Jintan mentioned, came in all at 0. They've got a Leshak, 2 Megathron cores, 1 Navy Mega, 1 normal Mega, and then 3 battle cruisers, a Brutix Navy issue, a Brutix, and a Harbinger. This is a classic 8v6 here in the Alliance Tournament, which is a 10v10 format for almost everyone else. But these guys play by different rules. Man, oh man, as Jintai mentioned, they're all at 0. This is a blaster, full-out, in-your-face DPS rush. Things are going to melt instantly in 30 seconds. Let's see, the Bastion didn't even bother to take links. Actually, never mind. I'm slow-brained today.
The Bastion definitely yes. It happens to us all, my friend. I honestly feel like this 30-second countdown is going to be much longer than the event itself, which reminds me of my performance in the bedroom. Anyway, let's take a look and focus on some of these ships, though. That Leshak is going to be very important. It's going to be probably the most important ship on the grid here because it has so much utility.
Yep, so looks like we've got some interesting stuff going on.
Well, everyone's MGDing.
The team's MGDing.
What the hell?
The entire red team is MGDing, activating this beacon, trying to get out of harm's way.
What the hell is going on? Drones are coming out. People are shooting one another. Was that before the match even supposed to start? We've got people all across the arena now. The red team here, Quebec United Legion, leapfrogging away from their opponents, deciding that they don't actually want this mano-a-mano fight and changing their mind. What's this?
Yeah, so they activated the MGD, which is at the center of the beacon, because they didn't want to get melted by these battleship cores. These Navy Megas, if they have to move around, that's a lot of wasted time. But if they're sitting at 0, they can plug out so much DPS, especially this Leshak. So the Bastion are forced to play chase to this Quebec United Legion team, and so basically essentially reset all of the initial damage early on. There's no damage really being applied right now, except for this Bastion Brutix is actually getting zonked by this Quebec United Legion team.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a hull tanked Brutix, so it's going to take a while to die in hull. But, you know, what this is going to be doing right now, what Quebec are going to be doing is they're going to be trying to use the range of those battle cruisers to just neutralize these battleships by picking them apart, making sure that the slower battle cruisers move in front of them and let them take the brunt of the damage. And this is working really well right now. Those Megathrons, the Leshak, they don't have very much range. They're blaster fit. They have to get on top of something, and obviously it's very hard to get on top of a bunch of fast battle cruisers in your Navy Mega. But saying that, the Navy Brutix of the Corrupted has been caught with a grapple and a grapple and a newt. So I think he is going to be in a world of trouble very, very shortly.
Yeah, the Bastion are currently outplaying the Quebec United Legion team really, really well. This Brutix belonging to Blurkus is managing to survive forever. He's just kiting away, absorbing a lot of time, and allowing his team to get in position to apply their damage. This Navy Brutix belonging to Quebec United Legion will go down, but a Navy Brutix for the Bastion is down already.
I don't know how he died. He was in armor. In hull. He was just getting pounded on by this fleet and then went down himself. But the Navy Brutix is very, very low as well.
God, we've got some refereeing shenanigans going on because the Bastion or the Quebec United Legion team activated the MJDs before the timer went down. They have been disqualified, and the Bastion, who the commentary desk started to just lambast atrociously, are going to take this. The Bastion are the winners here, even though they're losing ships right now. Quebec United Legion are forfeited because of an illegal MJD action. The MJD action that we saw in the very beginning of the match where they all blinked away was actually started before the official countdown.
Wow, so CCP once again proving that cheaters never win and calling this one for the Bastion. We will send this back to the studio to kind of talk about how this match might have gone had they not cheated. Yeah, I guess we do, because the match is over. Okay, no worries. All right, well, with all of that, let's hand it back to the studio to break down some of the drama around this.
I know how to name drop too.
Name drop too. Name drop too.
Sergeant, I would say it wrong. Patrick Archer, Harvey Skywalker, CCP, good at me, and I'll say it correct the first time, and then after that I'll mispronounce it.
Yeah.
Guys, what the hell are you doing? We had such hope for Quebec United Legion. Entire team basically blown up by CCP because they all violated the rules, which is don't activate stuff before the match starts. And they all activated that central micro jump unit, probably thinking that, you know what, great idea. If we activate it now, we'll be out of here, we'll be gone. Can't tackle us if we're not there. Well, you just jumped yourself straight into the losers bracket. Good job. So Tonya, anything to add?
You're probably the only team that has lost the Bastion now.
Oh, ooh, ow. Yeah. Bart?
Yeah, they knew that they wouldn't have any of their ships blown up if they were blown up by CCP. So at least Bastion doesn't get too many kill mails.
Denying the enemy kill mails.
Yeah, they figured it out.
Solid.
Got to move
tactic.
those goalposts somehow, right?
Yeah, those good old portable goalposts.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, how could that match played out if that team hadn't jumped away and they all sat there until the very beginning of the match and then activated the module? How could that match potentially have played out?
I think they still would have got a lot of their ships away, to be honest. I didn't see too much tackle come in from the Bastion, so I think they kind of just DQ'd themselves into the losers bracket.
Yeah, I think they actually had a chance. They were fighting an undermanned team. They were in, brawling battleships and battle cruisers. And I think one or two of them was a little slow. It was the guys who were hesitating. It was like, I don't quite think this is allowed, but okay, I'll do it. So, one or two of them jumped like 8 seconds after the rest of them, like once the match actually started as you're supposed to. So they would have all gotten away anyways. They just chose to, jump the gun a little bit. And
A couple of those ones that followed the rules, waiting to get back to their when they get moved out of the arena to tell the rest of his alliance to stop being so bad and to stop breaking all the rules. But the Bastion takes their first Alliance Tournament victory. Does that mean that they've still only destroyed 11 points though? Despite taking a win? A technical win is still a win, but do they get credited with the kills? It's an interesting one. I might have to find that one out from CCP there.
we'll have to check the mails, see if they got on any of the ones that got blown up.
No, they should. I think they got on at least one or two of them.
Well, there you go. Good job, Bastion. Yeah.
But technically it's 100-0, so.
Yeah,
There you go.
technically 100-0. So the Bastion with a clean sweep there, 100-0, dominating Quebec United Legion as we all predicted.
Yeah.
We can alter history. That's what we're going to do. So coming up next is potentially one of the most hyped up matches of the day, and we can talk about this one for quite a while because it's going to be Test Alliance, Please Ignore versus Triumvirate. So this is the war that's going on right now in Alliance Tournament form. And we did say earlier on that if any of the Alliance leaders are watching, so maybe like ProGod or Villy or like maybe Overdose, some of the guys from Tri, if you guys could have like some sort of handshake agreement that whoever wins this match, the other team has to stop shitposting on Reddit for a week or something, like I think that would be a solid. Everyone would benefit
It'll be a service to New Eden.
Service to New Eden, yeah, exactly.
I don't think Overdose is leadership in Triumvirate.
Well, he's
definitely the leader of their Reddit brigade.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
maybe just ban him. Like, that's okay. We'd all be happy.
Oh, there we go. We could reach out to the RE mods perhaps and get them to enforce this on test or try without their permission. There we go.
Oh, absolutely, that would happen.
Yeah, so all we need is one RE mod to just ban all of test or all of try for 1 week. So if you can make that happen, please write in and let us know, because that would be absolutely swell. Now, let's have a look at some of the history of these teams in the Alliance Tournament. So, Tri didn't enter last year, but the tournament team, the pilots change around a lot. They don't have a consistent team. So, Tony, do you think this year that maybe they've got a solid team, or do you think it's going to be kind of hit or miss again?
It's hard to tell with Triumvirate. In some of the past tournaments, they have done very well, but then that's also because they've had the Starfleet Commander and sort of the pilots that make up the core of We Form Volta right now. So I don't know if they're going to be good. Potentially Triumvirate are a pretty decent PvP alliance on Tranquility. They could bring a good team.
On the other hand, Test last year went 3-2, coming in at 16th overall, losing to Vidra and Brave, so two pretty reasonable teams. They did defeat the Ronin, which is always a solid one. The Ronin are aggressively upper mid-tier, I would say, and they defeated Goonswarm and Shadow Cartel. So, I mean, Test are pretty good. I mean, I think you referred to them as a gatekeeper team. What would you say when we talk about a gatekeeper team? What is that?
Test Alliance is a gatekeeper team. By gatekeeper, we mean you need to be able to beat this team. You need to be as good as this team if you want to see the top 16.
And you agree with that, Bart?
Yeah, they've consistently gotten close or top 16 for several years now. They're consistently above average. I think, as you said about the other teams, I don't think they ever do spectacularly well, but they always get top 16. They almost always, they'll get the free qualifiers, so they don't have to worry about like funding Plex or getting into random draws or winning feeder matches. So, it's a good team. They have a lot of pedigree. I'm sure they have a little bit of member turnover every once in a while, but they're still generally kind of the same-ish people. So it's a good AT team.
Yeah. And I think, remember, you guys can play along at home by going on and predicting who you think is going to win between Test and Tri. You have a chance to win 500 Plex, which is enough to fund a couple of Doctrine ships in both Tri or Test. So pretty solid investment by just clicking a few buttons. I mean, this is going to be the politically charged one, but Bart, who are you going to pick here between Test Alliance, Please Ignore, otherwise known as Tappy, and Tri?
I think it depends a lot. If Tri decides to go and tackle a Tappy Rorqual during the match, they're all going to have to just leave their ships, jump clone back home, and save it. So otherwise, I'd probably go for Test.
And Tony, how about you?
I'm going to go for Test. I think they're just a solid team. I think even if Triumvirate brings their best, they're probably going to be just only maybe slightly above Tappy. So I think Tappy is a solid pick. I think Tri can win it, but it depends on how much effort they put into the Alliance Tournament.
So I'm hearing a couple of interesting stats coming through. So Alexei, our stat man with 5 monitors upstairs, he is the #hackerman. He's typing probably multiple keywords at the same time. He is that good. He's telling me, now this is an interesting one, he's telling me the total distance burned by ships in the Alliance Tournament is just over 1.7 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon.
Fascinating.
I don't know how that you even worked that one out,
Yeah.
but fair enough. And we're also getting some clarification on the rules and the way the points have been awarded for that last match. The win wasn't 100-0. Sorry, Bastion, you're not getting away that easy. It seems that the devs killed just, quote, "we killed just enough ships to allow Bastion to win." So we have a replay of the rule violation that we can throw up now. So we're going to put that on the main screen and we'll have a look and see exactly where it all went wrong for Quebec United Legion. So here we go. We can see all the people are sitting in the middle and all those guys just violating immediately as the match starts. Anyone who jumps before 8 seconds is gone in, is all activated those modules before. So basically when it gets to 9:52, anyone who's moved is broken the rules. So those, I think it was 3 ships we saw there jump away. So all violation. Oh, and there go the rest of them. I mean, it was a good attempt. One of them going in a completely different direction from his friends. So don't really know what else to say about that one. That's a good job.
If you have to cheat to beat the Bastion, then I don't know what to say.
So this one, the guys are moved into the arena. We are a little bit ahead of schedule, so we are going to try and get back on schedule by waiting all the way until on the hour. So this match will start at 1900 Eve on the button. So the two teams right now are in local, probably shit-talking each other in local, and they have 5 minutes to do that. I know CCP Falcon loves the test local chat.
Yeah, he just loves middle management dinosaurs.
Yeah. Middle management dino. So if you guys in Twitch chat and maybe in local, just spam CCP Falcon with the dino. Like, he loves it. He told me personally, he's like, Ithaca, I love it. So that's really what we want. We want the dinos.
Now,
So
what flagships do both Test and Triumvirate have? I know Triumvirate has a Leshak, but I'm not too sure on Test.
Tappy also has a Leshak, so
Oh.
2 Leshaks into the pile of Leshaks in this tournament. As we saw that on, more than half the ships of the Blue Donut and of both these teams are Leshaks. We've talked at length about why Leshak is so powerful, especially the fact it's point reduced. There's still a couple of other interesting flagship picks we saw. Like, obviously we had that Barghest, we had 3 different Marauders, a bunch of SNIs. What else did we have?
2 Praxises.
Oh yeah, the Praxis. So so we're going to have the picks by race graph to have a look at now. Well, we have another couple of minutes before the match gets underway. Make sure you're spamming that test dino, please. So this is picks by race. So that's an interesting one. So a lot of blue down there. So Caldari and Galente, both blue. Interesting colour choice. Down in the bottom right, there's a lot of those. Not very much Mimitar Republic. Why do you think that is, Titonia?
Mimitar tend to be sort of faster, more hit and run tactics, and we've seen a lot of sort of big battleship brawls. Haven't really seen things like Sleipnirs, although we did see Flykit flown between Barcode and Samurai. So.
Yeah, and obviously you see that little sort of orange-red blip in the side there. That's the Society of Conscious Thought and Triglavian ships there. So that's your Praxis, your Leshak, your Vedmak, things like that. Obviously they're getting picked because of point reduction and just for the Society of Conscious Thought ships at least, and just the general power of the Triglavian collective ships in this particular meta. I mean, I don't think we've talked exactly about what the disintegrator actually does. Bart, do you want to tell us a little bit about that module on those ships and why it's so powerful?
Yeah, it is. It's a very high tracking laser that slowly ramps up in damage the longer you have it on one target. So while on TQ it may not be the best just because people are usually alphaing through each other, during the AT, because the matches, they last a while, sometimes you'll be shooting one target for a long time, the damage of the ship goes up quite quickly. I believe it's about 5% every weapon cycle, which is, depending on the size of the ship, can be between 2 seconds to 5 seconds. And once you have that on, let's say you're going after a logistic ship or you're going after a battleship, these ships go from being, I would say, about cruiser-sized in their damage or battleship-sized in their damage to ramping up quite a bit. Like a Leshak out-damages a Vindicator, which is traditionally the highest DPS ship in the game. The Vedmak hits battleship DPS pretty easily as a 4-point cruiser. So they track really, really well, too. They track better than most weapons of that size do, which means they can use them to kill frigates. I believe Leshaks can actually wipe frigates out quite quickly, which is surprising because usually it's we'll tackle it with a little thing, and then Leshak's just okay, whatever, I can hit you fine.
So, Sonia, how important is that ramp up for the Leshak? I mean, what happens if it gets jammed? Is that a big deal, or is that something that you're just going to ramp it back up again?
Yeah, it's actually a super big deal. Every time the weapon deactivates, it actually completely resets the ramp up on it. This is the same with weapons like tracking disruptors, or if the Leshak pilot himself goes out of range or swaps to a different ammo type, he has to start again from the bottom of that ramp up again.
Cool. So we have another hard-hitting deep analysis stat, and that is that during his match, Chesser himself feathered for a total of 580 kilometers in an Onyx. It's a solid amount of feathering there, Chesser. Good job, you. And here we go, breaking news. Tri is actually fielding their flagship Leshak in this upcoming match.
Nice.
So we are almost ready to go to the arena now, and I believe, in fact, I am hearing that we can transfer to the arena now, and we'll find out who is going to win the shitposting battle of the century between Test Alliance Please Ignore and Tri.